Greetings and welcome everyone to Cubetractor. Cubetractor is this new game that's all about the art of pulling cubes. I didn't realize that was an art form, but whatever, I'll allow it. And you play Endroi. Endroi is this robot who's trying to prove himself to the world that he is a master of pulling cubes. And no one believes him, so he's going around the world trying to prove himself to everyone and sort of accidentally foiling plans of evil people or something like that. That's what I've gathered anyway. So let's begin the game. I'm going to be playing Examination 3. There are basically exam levels, and the exam levels are really the main story levels, so you need to beat those in order to progress. You have little side missions that you can play as well, but those are just for more stars, which you can complete for, you know, just basically more gameplay, and they're rather challenging. Like the main story missions aren't that difficult, but the side ones are rather difficult. So I'll just start playing Examination 3. Let's give it a shot. So here is the game. Basically, you are Endroi, and you need to basically destroy all of these cubes. It's fairly simple, deceivingly simple actually. So in order to move, you can either use the WASD keys or the arrow keys, or use an Xbox 360 controller. I'm using the Xbox 360 controller. It does not support saying like, oh, press A to use this. So it has only partial control support. So if you use the controller, it won't tell you to press the specific button. You'll just sort of have to guess it by playing the game. So let's just we can press A on the Xbox controller in order to move this up. There we go. And then that cube will pull it up against there, and then it will attack him. And we need to do that repeatedly in order to destroy it, and then help advance through the level. So we are ranked in this game both on our time completing the mission and on how many hits we got, on how many hits we took. So if we get hit once, we can't get a master ranking for the mission. Okay, so now that we're out here, we need to beat up these little robots, guys. We can do that by using these cubes to blow them up. So there we go. There we go, simple as that. And now that we've gotten out of here, we can do something a little more advanced, which is merging cubes, which is one of the main gameplay mechanics of this game. So if we just take the cube to the left and the cube to the right, and we just pull them both together, there we go, they will create a new little item for us that we have. So now that's a little turret that will be a fire against these enemies, but there they go. Look, they can't destroy them because they get destroyed fairly quickly. So what do you suggest we do? Well, it's quite simple, really. We have to just put more of these blocks together. Putting these blocks together will create a barrier for our little characters, so we can put these together, and then they will have a barrier for themselves so that they can have a defense. There we go. Just avoid that, and there we are going. They're destroying the blocks very easily. Now you see here, I just picked up this wrench, and that increased my health. So if you get low on health and you need a health pickup, you just go over to a wrench that is scattered throughout the level, and then they will regenerate your health. So there we go. So now our little minions are attacking this little bad dude over here, and they've destroyed it, and now they're trying to destroy their other little barrier. And this is basically the entire game. You have to figure out how to best position yourself in order to beat the bad guys. So you have to, it's sort of like a puzzle in how it's set up, and then you have to figure out how to do it, and then you have to do it, and then also make sure that you have positioned everything correctly. That's another part that is rather challenging about this game, is that trying to get the cubes to line up to where you want to go in order to fuse them. Because you can't just say, oh, put this here and put that there, like, say, a tower defense game, you have to time it correctly. So if I want to put this, say, next to this little flower here, I would have to time that rather perfectly, so it's fairly difficult to do that. Okay, so let's just put that there and kind of quickly do that. So that's not going to work because this one will travel here faster than this one. This side can travel to the other left-hand side. So what we need to do is we need to time it correctly and fuse them together like that. Actually, no, that I haven't unlocked that one at this stage, so that's a bit of a shame. So I need to use this little turret gun one and put those two together. So let's just do that again. So do that, and now I believe that will be good enough. Yes, just good enough. Okay, so now also something that, oh, I'll take a hit. Oh, there we go. I let my little guy live. Don't you worry, man, I got your back. and now he's gonna pretty much just get wrecked. Yep, wow, what a fucking waste of time. I should have probably taken more hits. So we can take a few hits to save our turret and, you know, basically save, you know, sacrifice ourselves in the line of duty just to save ourselves, save our turrets for the greater good and such. But, oh shit, that was too late. Okay, so there we go. Damn it, he keeps hitting me. Okay, so now hopefully that will give us, my little guy, enough time to destroy the other guy. Oh dear, I'm getting really low on health. So when you get low on health, a little sound play. No, would you stop destroying my thing? So this is sort of how it gets difficult by, you know, you have to time it right, because when you do build your machines, they do take a while to spawn up, and then also they have to have this little cooldown timer and such. I don't think he's gonna survive that one. Wow. So what am I? Oh yeah, that's right. It's supposed to be doing the little shield. I keep forgetting about these. It's very important to make sure that you're looking at all the blocks around the screen, because if you don't, then you'll miss something very crucial to passing the level, and you'll be like, oh, what's happening? I keep dying. What's going on? I'm great, aren't I? But then you realize, oh, you missed something very obvious. And now if you do die, you won't restart at the start of the level. You'll restart at that specific stage. So this is the third exam, part 2. So we're in the second stage of the level. So if we die, we just respawn here. It's fairly simple stuff. Now, the way that they do punish you in this game, because you do have to get punished for dying in this game, the way of punishing you is that your timer still carries on. So if you want to get a higher ranking, you can't continually die. But you can, if you're really bad at the game, still manage to pass the level, even if you do die repeatedly. You just won't get a very high ranking. So it's very nice that this game is fairly simple and easy to come into for those who aren't that skilled. So there we go. And so you saw there, we don't always have to just create turrets to blow up other turrets. We can sometimes just use the cubes and blow them up that way. So it's a fairly cool game how you can use these little cubes in so many interesting ways. Now let's just get rid of this. We can do that by pressing the B button, or I believe X on PC, or sorry, not on PC, on the keyboard. So there we go. Let's just put these together there. And let's just everyone get together. So there we go. So we also need to make sure that we watch out for where we are placed, because these cubes, when they're pulling towards us, they can damage us like so, which can be rather bad for when we have to try and put something together, and then all of a sudden, you know, it blows us up in the middle of it, and just, oh, you know, bad news bears, essentially. So let's just move that one over there. Let's get through here. So it does have an emphasis on timing of your pulling of the cubes, and then also having an emphasis on making sure you know about your general location. But it's not too difficult. Some of the later levels are actually rather challenging in how much you are required to look around your surroundings and make sure you're looking at everything in all possible ways. But it never gets to the point where you're like, God damn it, this is insane, this is impossible. You aren't like set back too much, and it doesn't become tedious, and that's the main reason why I quite like this game. It doesn't get tedious because they don't really punish you for losing and being horrible at the game like me. So that's good. So it'll allow you to just play the game. I've played it for about 100 minutes or so now, and I've enjoyed the majority of that. Like, it's a very interesting game. It's got a great art style. I absolutely love the sprite work in this game. It is absolutely gorgeous. So now, in this new little area, we have a little conundrum here. So this little guy, oh shit, hold on, let me get rid of you. Okay, so they've got a new power supply sort of thing, a power plant I think it's called by the game. They've got a power plant in the game right next to them, which can double their speed that they can produce missiles. So we have our work cut out for us. So how do we do this? So we've got to make sure that you remember to look around at the environment and don't just limit yourself to one area or one sort of strategy. You've got to think outside the box, and I really like that. This game is full of these sorts of you know that moment where you're stuck on something and you're like, I can't fucking do this. This is impossible. And then you get that, aha, that's how you do it. Oh, it's so obvious in retrospect. That is this game. Oh my god, that is exactly this game. Because, like, I was stuck on this for like 6 or 7 minutes wondering, how do I do it? What do I do? I'm stuck here. And then I realized, oh no, you just gotta go over here and pull these cubes up to destroy this guy. And then it gets a hell of a lot easier. And then you gotta use these cubes again to time them and then create a new turret from these cubes here in addition to the cubes down here. It's just like, oh my god, that is so obvious when you realize what they're there for, and you think outside of the box with this sort of stuff, and it's just, it's one of those how could I miss that, I am such an idiot sort of moments, and it's just, it is brilliant. Okay, so now we just need to push that together, and bam! It's rather generous on the timing that you have to have for when you put together two little machines, so that's quite nice of them. Although you can still mess up, like I said, so there we go, I think. Yes, there we go, made it. So now that we have eliminated the power plant, they no longer have their as fast fire rate. So now it is much easier to take these lot down. So let's just put all of these together. There we go, and these as well. Let's put these turrets together. And so the game is really interesting because of all this sort of strategy that you need to do, and it is difficult, but it is still very, very possible to beat. So, wow. I messed that up. Okay, cubes, respawn, I need you now. There we go. Wow, I'm gonna get... Wow, I destroyed... My invincibility frames destroyed me. Wow, that was great. Invincibility frames, you're supposed to help me, not harm me. Damn it, you're ruining me. Okay, just wait for them to stop firing, and now's my chance to go. So when cubes are currently in the process of being forged together, they will block all sorts of fire coming towards them, or all sorts of projectiles coming towards them, rather. And so that is kind of an interesting way to do it. So that's another sort of strategy that you can use and incorporate into your game plan. And this game is just full of those, and it's pretty much a puzzle game wearing the skin of an action game. It is very impressive, and also this game was made only by 2 people, which is just amazing, especially for the quality of writing and the artwork that is in this game. Like, just look at this game. It is beautiful. I love it to bits. As a former sprite artist, this is just, oh god, this is gorgeous. And I am so jealous of the artists because they are really good at this. Okay, so Endroi, that was a success against overwhelming odds. Warsums. Nicely done. So here we are, now we have finished the level, and we get to see this little guy. So now it tells us how many batteries we collected, those are the collectibles. And then we get 7 minutes, 56 seconds, which is apparently fast. I've never even gotten anything lower than a fast, and I've spent like 20 minutes on a single level. And so I think this game is just trying to make me feel good by saying like, yeah, that was fast, man. Yeah, you're not incredibly fucking slow. No, you're fast. And I have to disagree. I'm really slow. So that has been Cubetractor. Now, there are a few problems though. The main one being that at full screen on certain resolutions, it can be kind of hard to read text at certain times. Like, this is my very first exam right there, what he's reading and all this. It can be sort of hard to read certain things like that during certain times, or if you've got the, actually, let me just go back to the main menu so I can show you. So if we go into the options menu, you can play in stretch if you don't like playing in 4x3, and that will stretch it out, and this can make the text very difficult to read, which is kind of annoying. So I would have preferred, rather than just also stretching the text, maybe also change it so that the text makes sense along with it, because when it's stretched, it does get a bit harder to read. Okay, so like, let's just show it here. So like at certain resolutions as well, like it just gets a little bit pixely and it's kind of weird. Like it looks kind of unnatural, and that is kind of odd. So yes, that's it with the stretched on. So now let's just quickly turn it off. And that also does kind of mess up the art, but I suppose that's what happens when you stretch something. Okay, so let's just turn the stretch off. And also, something else that is kind of disappointing, there's no volume slider. It's just sound on, off. So you've got it on or off. There's no sliding here. I think the sound is just an itty bit too loud, and I would like to turn it down just a smidge, but I don't have the option of doing that, so that's kind of disappointing. Also, no option for resolution. You have full screen or windowed mode, and that's it. You can't choose to, say, play at 1280 by 720, or play at, I don't know, 1366 by 768, or whatever resolution. You can't choose to play at any of those. You are stuck with either your full screen monitor resolution, or you're stuck with the windowed mode resolution. And there's no real in between there at all. So that's kind of weird. Due to the way I record, I like to play at 720p. And when games don't allow me to play at 720p, that is rather annoying. So that is also annoying from this game. So if it's possible for them to add that in, that would just be absolutely fantastic, and I would adore them for that. And also, there's no way to customize your controls. So I really do enjoy playing games like this on PC with using WASD, and the game allows you to use WASD. But the problem there is you have to use Z and X, and trying to use WASD plus Z and X all together at once, and it's just like, oh god, what is happening? My hand's cramped. So I would like to maybe change Z and X to somewhere else on the keyboard, like onto the numpad, or maybe I, J, K, or L, like one of those, or, you know, page down, even, like, but there's no options to do that in the game. Maybe there's one somewhere else, but I couldn't find it, so, yeah, that is a bit disappointing. Just because I want to mention it, the credits are actually really fast, and they don't overstay their welcome, and that is absolutely brilliant. I absolutely fucking hate it when credits overstay their welcome and take 17 years to scroll through, but thankfully this game actually allows you to watch the credits in one lifetime, which is really nice. I know I'm like the only person that actually watches the credits, but I like it. So thank you, developers, for putting that there. So, this has been Cubetractor. It's a very, very nice game. It's got a few problems, so I'll give it a modest review score of, well, not really a review score, a first impression score of about, 10 out of 10. It's 10 out of 10. It's okay. It's okay. You know, I would recommend you pick it up. So, there will be a link to their Steam store page in the description below. Also, a link to their YouTube trailer. Their whatever else they've got there. Whatever else I can find available that relates to the developers, it will be in the description, so be sure to read the description for all that relevant information. And GG.